Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Russ Fritz.
And I'm Nathan Johns.
And we are live again at Lernerville for night number 2 of the Commonwealth
Clash.
I was just hoping for you to say Clash.
Oh.
But,
Well,
yeah.
Work on that.
Yes, this is night number 2. This is the big one. Last night was the preliminary night, and that was just a little taste of what's to come tonight. Tonight is for all the money. So we are looking forward to having an awesome race tonight. So what did you think last night, Nathan? What did you think about the race last night?
Honestly, it was way slicker than I was anticipating seeing them being, but it was a good race. I mean, I'm trying to think who it was. The 7, Tyler Courtney, that's who it was. Tyler Courtney almost lost it in front of the field, coming with, I think it was like 5 or 6 to go. Definitely a close call. I think he bounced off of a lap car and still managed to hold on to lead, at least for that corner. But in the end, Corey Day ended up passing him. Cy Lynch started on the pole, and I think he dropped back to as far as 4th and ended up finishing 2nd in the final results. He was a man on a mission last night, and he was almost flawless. But this was your first trip to the track, so I want to know what your thoughts were.
I'm going to tell you what, being my first time here, I've never seen a place like this. It is, in my opinion, it is a 100% top-notch facility, and I just want to tell the owners, thank you for putting the time and effort and the hard work into this place. It is something I've never seen. Not even good compared to Eldora. I would say I like the surface better than Eldora's surface. Not to say that Eldora is a bad facility. It is a great facility, but this place, the racing here was second to none. I've never seen racing like that.
I don't think I've ever seen a race with you and I going to that went green to checkered. But I think it's pretty common here, so it was kind of cool to see your reactions to that, too.
Me, myself, I have seen plenty of races go, from start to finish with no cautions. But nothing.
The excitement on track like that, though, was kind of cool.
Nothing like this race. There was good racing all over the track. But once Corey Day got out front, it was all Corey Day. There was no stopping him, and there was no catching him. And this was just amazing, And congrats to Cy Lynch. To be able to run with these guys, and being the hometown hero here. You wouldn't expect anything else out of him, and I was glad to see him up there right along with everybody.
See, and honestly, as somebody who's come to this event before, it's not very often that you see the locals or the every week drivers running up front. Yes, Cy Lynch doesn't really race here as often as he used to, but he still is, was top of the field all weekend. He is considered a local and a fan favorite here when it comes to the racing. I think the closest driver behind him might have been Cody Bova. I have to go back and look at the standings, but I know that there were quite a few drivers who made the field. That was very cool to see. And then, of course, there was some of the disappointment of Rico not making the feature outright. He had to go through the lower provisionals to make in. He had to make it through the B main.
He had to come through the B main.
I think he finished 1 spot short of making the transfer originally. But there was quite a bit of good racing last night. It was, in all, a good event. Very, very slick. That was my takeaway. Is last night was way slicker than I think I'd ever seen it. It was very, very dusty. But at the same time, with the high limit shows at Lernerville, they seem to be very, very dusty. And it seems to, all the moisture that was there is no longer there. Like with the late model shows, you get a good kind of tacky, grippy track. The late models, they just eat, or the sprint cars, they just eat right through that, and it gets dusty so quick. And I think that's what really made the track the way it was last night, is just super, super, dicey racing, slide it in there, had to hang on to the seat of your pants, everything.
So Corey Day last night picked up his 7th win of the high limit series, or the high limit season for this season. That's 7 wins.
Isn't that tied with Brad Sweet? Or
And
they said something about that last
well,
night.
here's a quick interview to with Wikipedia last night that he did, and this is not ours. This does belong to Wikipedia, so I'm just going to play the audio version of it. But yes, this content here does not belong to us. It is Wikipedia's, and let's play this interview in Victory Lane with Corey Day last night. If the sound will start working. Okay. Well, apparently our sound doesn't want to come through while we're using our app, so that's not going to happen.
Not good.
That's all right. Not a big deal. It was an update for the app, I believe. It did just update before we went live, so we wanted to update because people were actually complaining about it.
Well, I'm glad we at least somebody got it fixed in the update.
That's fine.
But
No big
was
deal.
there anything else you really took away from last night? I mean, Corey Day basically, once he got out there, he was set sail and gone. I know at one point I think he had he was ahead of Cy by at least 3 seconds, and it was growing as they went. But I think towards the end he was ahead of him by about 3 seconds. But was there anything else that really you took away from last night that made it that much more unique?
My thing is just like it's amazing the prep and all the time and hard work they put into this place. That's what amazes me about it all. It's not even so much the racing because I've seen a lot of good racing in my 40 years in any series, and it doesn't matter what series it is. The series itself doesn't make the racing any better from one to the other. It's the drivers that put the hard work into their cars and the time in to actually becoming a master behind the wheel.
And don't forget about the track prep from that dirt whisperer, Dan Bauman. He was the dirt whisperer last night. We actually saw him up in the stands looking at the track from the fans' point of view, which I thought was a really cool way of doing it. I've never seen him up in the stands looking at the track, but he just has that way of making tracks just come to life when it comes to track prep. And that was definitely some of the coolest 2 and 3 wide racing I think I've seen all night. In fact, all season really is. It was insanely good last night when it came to just stripping the lip or sliding around the bottom.
Now they're saying that last night was a career best for Silent, leading on the first 11 laps. He led the first 11 laps and then fell back to fourth, like you were talking,
and managed to work his way back by Anthony Macri
and to finish.
Yeah.
He got past. He got right back past Corey, Macri and
Corey Day, or not Corey Day, Courtney.
Courtney, and then he got back by Courtney to take second.
Yeah, because he originally was leading, and I believe Courtney threw looked to be the craziest slider across the infield. I thought he cleared the berm when he did it. But at the same time, both Day and Courtney were just ripping it off the bottom. I mean, I feel like they had the left front over the berm in the infield every lap for like 5 laps. And finally, I think Courtney just threw the craziest block and ended up sliding across Corey Day's nose and slid right back up in front of Rico to take the lead. And then I feel like when Courtney slid up and got loose in turn 4, that opened the door for Day to get back to him, and it gave Lynch a chance to get back into it, which he passed Courtney pretty easily, but he just ran out of time. And I think Day had already set sail, and he was long gone by that point.
So the finishing order is, it goes Corey Day, Cy Lynch, Tyler Courtney, Anthony Macri, James McFadden, Brent Marks, Brad Sweet, Jacob Allen, Spencer Basin, Tanner Thorson in your top 10. From 11th back was Emerson Axum, Chris Wyndham, Hunter Schoenberg, Parker Price Miller, Rico Abreu, Brian Brown, Danny Sams III, Justin Peck, Corey Eliason, Brenham Crouch, Ryan Smith, AJ Flick, Cody Bova, and Logan Wagner. So,
and I
I'm gonna tell you what,
misspoke. It was actually AJ that finished the highest local or weekly driver. Was AJ? He finished 22nd.
But for that mix of drivers, it was a great mix of drivers last night, man. And you saw driving styles from all over the place. It was just a great mix of driving styles of seeing how guys like to ride the top, guys like to ride the bottom, guys like to diamond the corners. You know, that's something you don't see a lot at a local, just a small local event on a weekly basis. So, what are you checking out? Helicopter over there?
I wonder if that's Kyle flying in.
That's not Kyle flying in. Kyle's
It'd be kind of funny if it was.
But yeah, to see the different types of driving styles actually mix on the racetrack, I think that was one of the other most amazing things for me that I've never seen before. I'm so used to seeing the same driving styles, guys either on the bottom, guys on the top, because they race there every week, week in and week out. And it just gets to be, routine. This was something different. You have the fast guys that like to ride that top line. And there were guys rim riding it. And like, I couldn't believe how many guys like to just flirt with disaster up on the top side like that.
What was it in the B main? We had a guy, they had people get so close that they were almost over the crest of the hill coming off the corner. We had at least one spin out in turn 2.
One did go over and spin out in turn 2, but he didn't go far. But I tell you, it's
so. But it was definitely a little interesting when it came to the racing last night. Very, very slick. They definitely pushed the cushion back in turn 1 and 2. That was one of the corners where I was very shocked at how far back that corner went. It was definitely kind of interesting to see how well that corner had rolled back. They knocked the cushion down in turns 3 and 4, and it built itself right back up. And that's what it was a lot of driving differences, a lot of different ways of entering the corner. I mean, I've seen more people...
Just my microphone, I about knocked it off.
Uh-oh. I've seen more people ricochet off that infield berm last night than I had any other night. That was insane to me.
There we go.
How many people just bounced off the corner, off the infield, almost clearing it, and just came flying right up off the corner.
So,
what was your thoughts on Ricky Thornton's driving last night? That was another hot topic as he made his debut.
I was actually impressed. A lot of people might actually sit and criticize him because he didn't finish very well. But I'm going to tell you what. For the guy to just hop into the car, it's his first time in there. I think they were fitting the seat.
They were fitting the seat not 30 minutes before the race started.
So for the guy to hop in the car and it's his first time on the track, I think he did very well. It's going to take him some time to adjust to how the car actually, how to actually drive the car. It's not a late model.
Oh, no, it's definitely not.
But I'm going to tell you what, he handled himself well, and he stayed out of the way, and he didn't cause any major issues.
I'm
going to tell you what, I'm going to give
him
an A+ on his performance last night.
He actually passed quite a few people. He was towards the back of the field, but he got to the point where he could pass people in traffic, was pretty good. And I don't think he made the show, but it was still, I think the first corner he took, he almost cleared the cushion. But after that, I never saw him once get anywhere close to going over. He was really good.
As I was watching, he tried different lines to see where he was comfortable driving at. And when it came to getting lapped, he moved to the low line, let everybody go around him. He didn't cause any problems to get in anybody's way or cause any wrecks. That was the biggest thing. But he also didn't try to go gung-ho and go for it like, oh yeah, I'm a late model racer and I know what I'm doing. No, he understood that a sprint car and a late model are two different things. And that's what it takes to be a great driver. You have to know your car. You have to get the feel for your car. Like they used to say about Dale Earnhardt. that man could see the wind coming at him to know how to drive his car. So it's guys like that that make things great. So guys like Kyle Larson, Kyle will tell you he can feel how his car is doing this or doing that, and that right there, like I said, that's what makes a good driver, in my opinion. You got anything?
I don't.
I thought you were looking up some notes.
No,
I'm
I was
sorry.
trying. I was trying to pull up our live feed again and check in with anybody viewing in. I managed to
No,
let my
you're
phone
fine.
go to
It's
sleep.
all good.
But
no, I'm just.
I honestly was. The weather was nice last night. It did cool off. It didn't get as much moisture as I thought it would, but it was still a decent race. I liked it. It was fun. They were done way earlier than I thought they were going to be, and I thought that was a good thing. Is that it? Blew by the show, blew through the show so fast that it,
I know, man.
made
We
it
were out of
easy.
here by 10 o'clock.
The race was done, I think, by 9:30, which around here the noise ordinance ends at like 11:30. So we had 2 hours before anything really had to be quiet around here. It was crazy how fast they got done this year. I mean, we still have another race today, but definitely interesting.
The thing that blew my mind last night, though, about how Rico had to go through the B main was Rico was the fastest qualifier.
Oh yeah, and
he had 12.79.
Yeah, and
there was only four.
I forget why he had to go to the back.
Seconds.
He didn't start very far up. In his
your
race,
top five qualifiers was Rico Abreu with the 12.79, Brent Marks with a 12.880, James McFadden with a 12.91, and Anthony Macri with a 12.94, and Cy Lynch comes in fifth with a 13.025. So these guys are not far off from each other. I mean, look at how close McFadden and Macri were.
Yeah.
12.94, 12.91. I mean, it was just amazing. I was actually surprised that Rico didn't make it out of his heat.
Ashley Brocato asked, Nathan and Russ, what is your favorite part of the race yesterday? I'm going to let you start. I know what mine was, but I want to know what yours was.
I got to say, like I was saying earlier, just the different styles of drivers that you see in the mix with a series like this. That's something that I don't usually see on a normal, regular basis every week at my local home track. And I'm not saying I don't see good racing. I'm just saying you don't see the mixture of the various driving styles. And it's awesome to see. And they didn't cause any major issues. That was probably the most amazing thing about it, in my opinion, was I've seen races that so many times that guys do have different driving styles and they cause all kinds of issues. But this, I'm going to tell you what, these guys are the best of the best. And I got to give them credit.
I think my favorite part of yesterday's race, I'm not even going to say it was the racing, because I'm so used to seeing the high limits tour here that it's nothing really, different. I always know that they're really good. I think my favorite part of yesterday's race was meeting some of the fans that we met. I mean, the fans from Lernerville Speedway we had on yesterday. It was so cool to, go sit with them and watch that race from where they were. Just get to, see the variety of different fans we get at this track, or just at these events in general.
Okay,
was definitely fun for me. Getting to socialize with some people, getting to talk about that stuff.
I guess I took that question a little bit more directly when it actually came to the racing specifically. But my entire part of being here, oh yeah, absolutely. Those people coming up here while we're doing our live, and they're actually sitting there recording themselves, not recording themselves, but recording us, their own selves, while we're actually doing our live, and then their boys standing here thinking how cool it was, and us just inviting them on. We love interacting with our fans. And I didn't think we had fans all the way from Australia.
I didn't even know people knew of us over there. So that is kind of cool.
I actually spoke to them while we were in the stands with them, and they told us, and they said they've seen us before. So That's pretty cool.
And I will say, I believe his name wasn't Russell. It was Ambrose. That was his name.
Mm-hmm.
Ambrose hit me with a really good question last night. He asked me, who is my favorite driver? Which obviously it's William Byron. And he also asked me, who is one driver I really can't stand? And I obviously told him Denny Hamlin. And then he hits me with the Ty Gibbs is the most overrated driver there is. And it took me by surprise that it wasn't just me who said that stuff. I mean, the only way he was in the Cup Series because he wrecked his way through.
I thought, according to you, that Kyle Larson was the most overrated NASCAR
I mean, he
driver.
is overrated in NASCAR, but he hit me with that one, which I hadn't really thought about it. The only reason he has that right is because of his grandfather, because he hasn't really proven anything else. He's got, few poles, few top tens, but he hasn't sealed the deal yet. He wrecked his way into a Cup Series ride.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
The fact that he hit me with that was a little, took me by surprise. It was quite a bit there that I wasn't really expecting. And then he hits me with the AJ Allmendinger. I'm not gonna lie, he's not really wrong. AJ is a great road racer, but we only have like 4 races on our Cup schedule. 5 next year, but we have 5 road courses on our Cup Series schedule. From what I understand, AJ's coming Cup Series racing again, but the kid has a valid point. He's not very good on ovals. He's good in the Xfinity Series because it's all the young kids. It's like the Bushwhackers all over again.
And that right there just kind of makes my day when it comes to our fans and seeing kids actually getting back involved with racing of all kinds, NASCAR, dirt track, don't care what it is. That's what is going to keep the sport alive, is the young generation. And although I don't agree with a lot of things that NASCAR themselves do or some of the dirt series and the rules that they come up with, I have to give them credit for at least trying new things to attract new and younger generations of fans. And, my hat's off to them, because I wouldn't want to have to put myself in that situation to try to figure all that out. So, thank you to Brad Sweet, Kyle Larson for bringing the High Limit on. Thank you to World Racing Group for continuing the World of Outlaws like you have for all these years. Thank you to Aaron Fry out of Ohio for the Fast Series and for actually saving Ohio Sprint Speed Week from extinction. We were all worried about that, but Aaron Fry took it upon himself kind of at the last minute and threw together one hell of a schedule. The money's kind of went down in some places, some didn't. And I know guys were a little disappointed in that, but everybody has to remember that Aaron Fry is trying. Okay. So, Aaron, you're doing a hell of a job with the Ohio Speed Week. I'm going to tell you what, I haven't never seen it gone 9 nights straight without a break. So, thank you again for taking that burden on, but thank you for keeping alive tradition in Ohio we've had for decades. It was amazing of you to do. So, moving on, let's go back to tonight. So,
while I was down there, I saw there was a few more.
I go back. I forgot. I was going to give a shout out to Caleb Henry over in Ohio. Caleb's actually from Sacramento, California, but Caleb Henry back in Ohio at Fremont Speedway for the Jim Ford Classic. They had double features because they had a makeup feature. That's the whole reason I brought up the Ohio Speed Week.
I was going to say, wait a minute. You forgot.
But they had a makeup feature from the Ohio Speed Week show at Fremont. And Caleb Henry went out, won that. And then they did the regular show for the night for the actual Jim Ford Classic race. And Caleb had a dominating performance all night long and went out and took home the checkers in that feature as well. So, and that's the second time this year that Caleb has actually taken double features at Fremont Speedway.
That's pretty good.
That kid, and he's 24 years old, but
he's a kid. He's only, 3 or 4 years younger than me.
But I'm going to tell you what. First of all, he's a great guy. I'm going to tell you what, man. You sit there and talk to him. He's a great guy. He has no problem talking to his fans or interacting with them. So that's excellent of him. But I'm going to tell you what, him and that team, they are like, I don't know what they're doing, but keep up the good work. So congratulations to you guys taking home 2 big checks in one night. And I just wish I had the talent in me to do that kind of stuff.
Me too.
But tonight at Lernerville, it's 50 grand.
Yes. One of the biggest well, okay. I won't say that because I think the firecracker was just as big, but one of the biggest payouts that we have at Lernerville. One of the most, if not the most. So it's definitely kind of cool to see that.
So who do you think it'll be tonight, Nathan? I'm going to tell you what.
I have to go back through and look and see. I saw there was a few different guys.
Can Corey Day make it a sweep of the weekend? Will Brett Marks or guys like Anthony Macri come home in first place and be able to park it in victory lane? Or will it be a local guy, Cy Lynch? I mean, who knows?
I would love to think it'd be Cy. I would love to think that. I would love to think that that will be how it finishes, but who knows? Trust me, the stakes are high, so it's gonna be awesome to see how tonight goes.
Maybe Courtney can come back, take a win. I'm gonna tell you, Courtney had a great performance, man, and he did a great job, except for that one little mishap that we mentioned. But he recovered from that like it was nothing, and it just seemed like he just his car didn't have any more. He just couldn't go any further, and it let Day just walk away. Like nothing, or not Day, but Cy walk away. He just didn't have anything for him, and you know that sucks. I hate to see that when that happens to guys because you know you like seeing those battles up front, back and forth and back and forth. I mean, I've seen a lot of good battles just this year at the local level, and I'm gonna tell you what, it never ceases to amaze me, dude. I love watching it.
I mean, there's quite a few drivers who will be here tonight that were not here last night. I mean,
Do you have the entry
so
list?
far I've seen Brandon Spithaler will be here tonight. It says. I've already seen Michael Bauer's cars down there. He was not here last night. I'm looking to see if there's any other ones that we didn't see last night. As far as I can tell, those are the only 2 that are on our list. Maybe Greg Wilson, but I'm not sure if he was here last night or not. I don't remember.
Said he was here last night. I didn't see his car though.
Yeah, some of them were listed as Saturday only. But there's a few that were here yesterday.
Was actually at Fremont last night.
Yes, Fremont was there. He was there last night. It's very possible that Tim Schaefer will be here because he was there last night also. There were quite a few guys who were at Fremont last night who are Lernerville regulars or local to Lernerville. As far as I can tell, those are the only 2 that are listed to be here or are already here that were not here yesterday.
And once we do our normal show for the week, you know, after we get through this weekend, I'll have more info on the Fremont race. That way I can actually go back and watch the race and see how it went, and I can take notes from there. So, but I did want to give a shout out to Caleb Henry. Great job, great performance. And that Rolling Boxer Farms number 11 or number 101. I was thinking of you saying Denny Hamlin. Oops. Number 101. I don't know. Like I said, they're doing a great job. So keep up the great work.
And I want to give a shout out to Cy Lynch on last night's finish. That dude has had horrible luck at Lernerville in the past recent years. I mean, earlier this year when High Limits is here, he started, I think, on the pole or started second, and then wound up, staring at the sky in a rollover crash where he got, clipped and spun around and ended up rolling over and landed facing straight up, looking at the stars. So he definitely had a rough go last time.
For that, the way you said it. So
I mean, the way it couldn't have been put any other way. He rolled that thing over, ended up doing a tail stand, just staring at the stars, and I felt bad for him because he had a great car last time, and ended up having it wrecked. And so last night was definitely a step in the right direction for him. Hopefully, he can improve by one more spot and bring the hometown crowd, something to cheer about. Because I would love to have a local driver be able to beat the High Limits Tour quite honestly, if Cy does it, I feel like he should be able to have the ability to get an invite to go race with some of these guys because they are just as good as Cy, and Cy could compete with them on any given day. I feel like he has the capabilities, driving capabilities, and the equipment to be able to do that on a weekly basis if it was necessary.
So Ashley asked us, what was your favorite driver and why? Now I want to ask her, what was our favorite driver of last night, or what is our favorite driver
in dirt
in general?
Guess. Like, are we only talking sprint cars, or are we talking?
No. I'm sure she's talking sprint cars, but
okay.
I just didn't know.
Well, okay, what would your answer be?
She's specifically asking from last night. Okay.
Okay, from last night. All right.
I'd have to say, to be honest with you, for me, I really liked Anthony Macri, and I thought he was going to give the lead a good shot, give the win a good shot last night. And it's not, I'm not saying he didn't, but he just didn't have the luck that he needed.
I'm going to give my vote to Cy Lynch. I mean, in past years, people will start up front and drop to the back like a rock. Cy hung in there way longer than I anticipated. I figured by the end of the race he would have been, top 5, maybe inside the top 10. He never left the top 5 that entire race.
No.
He was a man on a mission, managed to somehow keep his way in front of the field through absolute insane lap traffic. I mean, held on the car the entire time. I mean, Tyler Courtney lost it, and he's, considered one of the best of sprint cars because he's with the High Limit Tour. But, Cy managed to keep his car under control and last that entire race. Never really lost it one bit. I mean, lost the lead on a slider from, Tyler Courtney and Corey Day. But, I mean, that's part of racing. He never lost his composure. He kept his foot in it and still managed to, come away with at least a podium finish. I mean, finished second.
So is there anybody that was up front last night that you think won't be anywhere near there tonight?
I'm not sure. I do feel like the people who we would normally expect to be up front that were not up front last night will be up front tonight. I feel like they were saving their equipment, and it's going to come down to the 50,000 that they're going to put on the show. But I would like to think that the regular customers from last night will be in the mix also, running for the top 5s and the top 10s. I would love to see some of the local guys even run up front again. Have Cy Lynch running in the top 3 again, even possibly win the race. I feel like Rico, there's no way he's going to have 2 bad nights in a row where he's not going to make the transfer twice. By all means, if that's the case, you better expect that he's going to be absolutely throwing everything in the kitchen sink at the feature to come through the field and win the race. Because I believe he's the defending race winner of the high limit race here early in the year with the Don Martin Silver Cup. I believe he won the race then. But, I mean, expect anything and everything from tonight. The people that weren't up front tonight will be giving it everything they've got. But also all the people who were up front last night are not going to give an inch. And they're going to give it everything they can to stay up front and have a chance of winning that 50 grand.
In my opinion, I believe all the guys that were up front there, especially the top 5, I don't believe that they're going to fall off at all. I believe they're still going to be there. But I believe we're going to see the guys that just couldn't push it any further that were in the top 5 and give Corey Day a run for his money. I believe that they're going to be able to do that tonight.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure that they took everything they had from last night, wrote it down, went through their notes, adjusted their setup, and they're going to do what they have to do to try to win that big check, man. That's just my opinion. And some of the guys that had bad luck, I believe we'll see Ricky again tonight. I know he's going to try to improve himself, and that'll be interesting to watch as well. So, but I think we'll keep it kind of short today, Nathan. What do you think?
I'm ready to get into this track. I'm getting super excited tonight. I'm ready to go find our seats and have some more fun like we did last night and enjoy some good racing.
So before we close off, guys, don't forget to find us on YouTube and Facebook.
We got our own
YouTube.
cards now too.
YouTube is at Switching Grooves. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on Facebook, Switching Grooves, and we hope you guys all
Also
enjoy
follow
the
us
show.
at the tracks that we're at.
If you're out and about, you see us wandering around, don't hesitate to stop and say hi, ask for an autograph. We're more than happy.
Just like the video from Lismore Speedway from last night. You see us, come find us. Come say hi. We love to interact with you guys.
We have no problem taking pictures with you, interacting with you. So come say hi, do an interview. Hey, we'd love to have everyone. So Nathan, what do you think?
I think we're ready to go watch night 2 of Commonwealth Clash.
All right, let's do it, man.
Well, with Switching Grooves, I'm Nathan Johns.
And I'm Russ Fritz saying, race hard.
Be safe, and we'll see you guys next time.
Good
Bye, guys.
night, everyone.